So, I decided to do this vlog today because I wanted to. It is officially October. It's actually October 2nd as I am starting my recording. I say that because by the time I actually post this, it probably will not just be October 2nd. I'm in the middle of winding down a little bit since I'm going to have my last exam for my program, and I need to find certain ways to somewhat relax so I don't just well, knowing me, I tend to study until I can't focus, which normally means for me all night, which maybe when I was in college, I got away with that, sort of. Yeah. So, and I decided that knowing me, of course, try all different types of projects. And lately, I was trying to think about things to make for Jimin, for his birthday coming up. Something, and people, I say people, I asked, the part of the BTS fam that I'm in a part of, on Discord, I asked them, I was like, I kind of gave them an open-ended question, and they're like, whoa. I didn't realize until I wrote it how much of an open-ended question I asked them. I asked, what can I make for Jimin? Like, create for his birthday. Like, for JK's birthday, I created 2 different types of art projects that I had never done before, and I started getting more into that. It kind of reawakened my passion a little bit to just learn and create, even if it seemed a bit simple. I was like, okay, for RM's birthday, for Namjoon, I did a couple things. I have a plant that I now take care of, and then I got that actually on June's birthday, and I actually researched what plant or shrub I was going to get because my schedule is a bit hectic with going from house to house and not always being. That was my thing about plants and taking care of certain things on the go. And I found, I researched and I found the one that it's it's indoor and outdoor plant, and so it can go a certain amount of period without the need of constant watering. So, and then of course I do water it. It is a living thing, so of course I take care of it, but it just met. It's like it was like, hey, I guess a little bit of namjuning, in which I'm like, oh hey, how are you doing? And like putting some water in and all this stuff, and I'm just like taking care of it, checking the that, and I made a couple things also um on and around his birthday. So I was thinking, since um I'm a lot more present now. So I'm a bit more actively trying to get inspired and do things. The mindset that I did not quite have, well, I sort of did, beginning of the year, especially starting, because I know for, with like, with Yoongi and Namjoon in particular, and I try to be a bit more colorful when it comes to, um, our hobby, just in general, trying to be a little bit more outspoken and out there, and the parts of me that I kind of shy away from because I don't always know how to express it, so I just say whatever and I just do it. Fuck it, okay. But I said out loud, it's like, okay, so what should I do for Jimin? And certain people said, oh, you should do something with Apollo and Artemis, because that's been his, in a way, theme for his, me and myself and I, with like the Tailor of Chaos. And if I could be completely honest here, um, when I saw those the concept photos and the between the concept photos and like the short videos and whatever, my first thoughts were, this is why I relate to you. And um, I'm thinking of doing a interpretive, I definitely would not call it, I don't know if you would call it contemporary, but I guess it's my interpretive type of, not quite dance, but I guess, okay, breathe, 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 breathe. I'm tripping over my words, and part of my brain is having a moment, so, I think that, in between working on small little projects in terms of his birthday, because he has a very distinct aura about him. And people can say Jimin effect, and, you know, I see it. But I kind of want to explain something to people who don't quite know me. I'm the type of person that when I listen to music, I just don't just go in like 200%. Like, if I connect to your voice and like the energy and everything, and everything has to be at a certain balance. I'm very stimulated in terms of certain, with the way that my migraines, and I've experienced the only type of migraine or headache or some sort of tension up in here that I have not experienced, and I'm very grateful for it, is an aneurysm. And I say it like that because if I get overstimulated, it's up in here, and that's it. Like, I have a hard time so when and it sometimes happens like on a day-to-day life, in which some people are really loud, and it could actually happen just at random. Like, a normal sound can sound suddenly 10 times louder than it actually is, and I go into panic mode. I get very, I guess the word that the description I'd get it be like an auditory overstimulation, in which I go into slight panic. And so that's when music comes in hand, because sometimes some of the songs and some of the beats and everything that I like to listen to, depending on my mood, is kind of centered. What I mean by centered is I know that I'm listening to it right here. So I know where the sounds are coming from, and so I can just focus, and I center myself, and people find it interesting because I listen to a lot of symphonic metal. I listen to a lot of symphonic metal and classical music, and then BTS, of course. And so they're just like, where did everything fall in between? And then in my head, in my mind, and this is getting back to where I was talking about in relation to like BTS and Jimin in particular, because for me, when you're listening to certain higher tones, it can be if it's the right pitch, I'm not talking about like, how do I explain this? I'm not talking about like if someone's out of tune or not. That's not anywhere near what I'm trying to say. What I mean by higher tones, I mean like that uh that level of how high. Oh, sorry. Uh, Weverse was telling me that BTS had posted new media, so I had to immediately look. Um, but when I mean higher tones, I mean like uh, that upper like falsetto type, like head voice. And I'm not a musically trained person, but I just uh, very I'm a bit analytical when it comes to music, and that's how some of my the people around me, they know that's how I listen to music. So when I say that I listen to like BTS, or I listen to like Starset, which is an amazing um, rock band, by the way, that infuses like electronica, classical rock. Okay, I'm gonna go off a tangent. But then, like I said, when with Jimin and his higher tones, and with his very unique vocal tone, I don't know how else to put it. It actually surprises me how comforting and like a blanket his voice is up in that higher range. And I say it like that because what I've been saying for about a good few minutes now, I have a bit of a sensory um, overload type of when it comes to auditory, uh, and for that reason alone, I find Jimin very special. Because even when it comes to, and I get that way actually, whenever whenever our lovely V Bear, gets up in his insane range, I get that way too, especially with like Stigma, um, and when he goes up high, I get a similar feeling where I'm just like, oh, I find this extremely like, wow, because instead of being like, wow, like that's a little bit because unfortunately have heard um some music that have done the exact opposite to me, and I'm not talking about any genre or any band or musician in particular. I'm just talking about in general. And it is unfortunate because, uh, because my brain automatically goes, oh, note to self. And it's unfortunate. I guess in a way, certain people that I know, whenever I talk about music, and this is in no way, shape, or form ever putting my my thoughts on music on a pedestal. Because part of it is because even though K-pop in general, and even some of the symphonic metal music that I listen to over in Japan, it's a very visual experience, and I guess in a way my take on the visuals is actually, oh, I would like to wear that, instead of automatically feeling some level of attraction. I guess it's also the way I, in general, view that level of, overall in general. And so, when I've told certain people that, how I feel and everything, and my thoughts about BTS and how they saved me, and I've gotten some people that I find very close and very dear to me, they cautiously, because I was still, especially during my very fragile part of my recovery, about actually communicating with people again. And they asked me, they're like, okay, knowing how I sing music and knowing that a lot of it is about vibrations, what are they saying, and just in general, because I feel a lot of the vibrations in the music, and it's also a sensory thing, and they're like, oh, well, they were curious and they wanted to learn more because, they had preconceived thoughts about, you know, people use the word boy band, and they asked me, and I was just like, you know, I explain, and this video is already 22 minutes long, and if in a different video or in general, I might go more into analysis on kind of like a breakdown of some auditory things that I experience while listening to new music, and not just saying these things based on having a sensory not issue, more like anyhow. That word will eventually come to me. I don't like to always use the word issue, because in my mind, it's not an issue, it's a fact that I have, I get a bit of an overload sometimes, and I feel things like vibrations and just overall sounds a little bit uh, anyhow. Okay, so uh, all of this started because I was thinking of Jimin and what to do for his birthday. Like I said, I have a few things that I want to do for his birthday, and I'm actually pretty excited for it. Partially because it is completely different than what I did for uh, like June's birthday and JK's birthday. Because normally I did this last year and of course this year. For Namjoon's birthday, I did a spoken word poem, and I posted it on SoundCloud. And I'm always very nervous when I read something out loud, but you know, he gives me strength, so I did it. But for Jimin, he gives me a different type of strength. Jimin is interesting in my eyes because he's an interesting mixture of masculine and feminine. And to me, that is similar to, you know, me being non-binary. I tend to go back and forth in terms of not exactly expression. It's like I guess stuck in a binary world is an interesting thing. You, in a way, feel like you have to not exactly fit into a mold, but that in a way you are either one or the other. And occasionally I feel that way. And it's weird to me because I'm not either. And it took me quite a while to know that about myself. And it all made sense. And not and like I said, like Jimin is like I think there's one reactor. I actually saw it in a clip of the video on YouTube, of course, that was um Jimin making men question their sexuality. And this quote wasn't even like questioning sexuality. It was just, in my eyes, a fact. But he said something on the lines of Jimin is largely masculine, but he just has some feminine touches that are just, you know, like that make him even more, like, beautiful. And that actually spoke to me in terms of bringing uh, certain elements of myself out a little bit more, and being a little bit more confident in that area. And that's a thing that I see a lot in Jimin that makes me, like, you know, understand and about that and appreciate that about him. And to me, it makes me smile, and just in general, I greatly appreciate him in that art, just, as a whole. It's one of the reasons why I gravitate towards him. And yeah, so overall in general, I'm gonna try to figure out a way to bookmark certain parts of what I'm talking about, because if for some reason someone wants to hear about, like, me talking about sensory issues, I say that word a lot. I need to, like, look it up, some words that are in the ballpark but not always the same word. I'm starting to realize how many times I say that word. Anyway, so this I am excited. Obviously, I attempted to try to do a craft video, and I realized that I'm not exactly good with angles for actually filming it. So I applaud people who do some of the craft DIYs that I watch all the time. Because camera angles and getting that right, I have before done, not on YouTube, but some short painting stuff, but at the exact same time it was about angle. But I don't do this professionally. I don't. So I applaud people who do. So that should be it for now. The reason I said that was because I'm not really good at progress videos for the crafts that I talk about. Maybe I show the finished products, or take pictures and put a little bit of a ba and a little ba. We'll see. I'm getting used to the idea that this is an okay thing in terms of like filming stuff, because I'm getting to know the fact that it is okay that I am looking at a screen, and even though I see myself, it is okay. So, progress. With that being said, I'm gonna get out and I don't know. Let me see. Wow, it is still. Okay. So I just looked at the time and okay, I am rambling. So that is it. And until next time. Bye bye. But hey.